Hi guys, it's Kiarko here, back with another speed build. This is a 60s style speed build, and this is for the couple that I did a character build of yesterday. So this is for Lucy Ramsey and Kimberly Campbell and their little cat Clover. This home probably has like a lot of historical inaccuracies in terms of, how people were living during the 60s. But I'm not an expert on the 60s. I'm just a fan of the style, just in terms of interior design and what people wore and stuff. So this is just kind of like my little love letter to the 60s in terms of style, not in terms of like what was actually, going on during the 60s. But I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. I'd love to live in a place like this. It's not an apartment. I mean, it is a house. It's just kind of shaped a little bit weirdly with like this bottom level down here and then this top level up there. I don't know what you call this kind of house because it's not really a split level house. It's just kind of shaped in a different way. I made use of the terrain tool when I was shaping this, which is interesting because I usually suck at using the terrain tool, and not to say that I did an amazing job here. It's a little bit clunky in places, but I mean, at least I tried. Oh my god, my cat just sneezed. I don't know if you guys heard that, but my cat just sneezed behind me. Anyways, let's see. Here I'm just putting in windows. I thought about doing this like whole window roof thing. I ended up not doing that, and it just didn't really look how I wanted it to. And then I ended up changing the way that the roof looks as well. I really do like this place. I'd love, as I said before, I'd love to live in a place like this. I love the 60s so much. And as I said in my previous video, my personal real life closet is full of like actual vintage pieces from the 60s. I'm kind of a vintage freak. I love like collecting vintage. Anytime I see like a Bobby Brooks tag, I like go insane. I actually bought a pair of Bobby Brooks pants yesterday, so goes to show that I am truly a fan of the 60s and that I've committed a lot of my life to the style. Again, just the style, not the actual period. I would not want to live in the 60s, not with all the issues that the world has had in the past. But I really do like this place. I'm just setting up the exterior of it right now, figuring out how the driveway is gonna work, all that stuff. Yeah, so here I am setting up. So I have like two entrances. So there's that up like above entrance with the yellow door that you go up the stairs, and then there's like this below entrance for like the car park, or like the, what's it called? The driveway. And I have this beautiful, like, I don't know if that's a Corvette or like a Ferrari. I don't know. It's like some vintage looking car. I thought it was really cute, especially in that pale blue color. Super 60s, super, super beautiful. Watch some car person in the comments be like, that car is actually from like 1970 whatever, and I'll be like, okay. I don't know. There's gonna be a lot of historical inaccuracies. It's fine. Maybe they didn't even have windows in the 60s. No, I'm just kidding. But let's see. What am I doing here? I'm just putting in some details on the outside. I didn't go super crazy with the outside in terms of, details. I really wanted to focus on the inside of this house just because, again, big fan of the 60s. You're gonna hear that a lot this entire build. So I wanted to focus on the interior. And the interior turns out looking really fun and colorful and just so great. So I can't wait for you guys to see it as we go along. But I set up this little area out here, probably for them to, I don't know, like smoke, because everyone smoked cigarettes in the 60s. Though I'm not gonna say that because I don't want to promote smoking. So it's not to smoke, it's just to sit out there and enjoy their lives, because they didn't really have a lot of other stuff to do. There wasn't like a Game Boy back then, so I guess they just sat on porches and chilled. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, setting up the driveway here. I just want us to move inside already. I want to show you guys how I do the inside. Come on. Here we go. Okay, so here I'm putting in my walls. This is it's a 2-bedroom build, but the second bedroom on the lower floor here, I end up just making into like a guest bedroom because it's just the two of them. And I guess if I did a playthrough of this, like the room could eventually be converted into like a kid's room if they end up having kids and the gameplay. But for now it's just a guest room and / like laundry room. But up here is where the bedroom, kitchen, dining, living, everything is, and then downstairs is the guest bedroom / laundry area. I went with this like wood wallpaper that kind of matches the floors. I don't know how accurate that is. I mean, again, I said it's not going to be accurate, but I don't really know, like, did people really have wood walls? Like, I know that was a thing in like the 70s. I don't know about the 60s, but whatever, it's still cute. I went and downloaded some 60s style furniture before I did this build, so you'll be seeing some new furniture like that green cushioned couch over there that has a really interesting shape. That looks very 60s, love it. Putting in a carpet, and then let's see, putting in some pillows, just making the space feel lived in. The colors I went with are kind of like pinks, greens, and blues, just like these fun, kind of what I associate with like go-go dancer kind of colors. Yeah, so it's a bright, colorful place. I really like it. I thought about putting that TV there. I ended up swapping out for a fireplace just because I didn't really like the look of the TV. This fireplace probably is not accurate at all. It looks a little bit modern, but it also kind of looks a little bit mid-century modern, so maybe it could work. I think it works. And then let's see, putting in some books and stuff, and then I'm gonna end up putting in a mirror above this green couch in a minute. But for now, I'm just putting in some little decorations here and there. Let's see. What is your guys' favorite decade in terms of style? You know, I'm a really big fan of the 60s and 70s and 80s. I've recently been getting into the 80s a lot more. I actually also just bought a pair of like vintage jeans from the 80s that are so cute. I know the 80s is a controversial time in terms of fashion and style because a lot of people think it's butt ugly, but I think it's so fun. Like, I'd love to do my hair like that with the little like swoop in the front and all the crazy curls and stuff. It's wonderful. It's so out there. I love very out there fashion. I think it's so fun. And 80s interior design was also really cool, like Memphis design and, you know, all the crazy, you know, designs and colors they had back then. And you can see that in my, let's see, my 80s apartment build that I did, a few weeks ago, I guess? A few days ago, I don't know. But go check that one out if you're interested in seeing my interpretation of 80s. I still haven't done a 70s build yet. The 70s is kind of a hard time for me to capture for interior design just because there's like, I don't know, there's a lot of different ways you can go with it, and when I've tried to do in the past, I always feel like it ends up looking just like modern boho, and that's not really what I want. So when I find the right custom content to make a 70s build that looks accurate, I will do so. But for now, I'm just gonna stick with my 60s and my 80s. I am also kind of a fan of 90s fashion, not really 90s interior design, but 90s fashion is pretty cool too. I don't know, I'm just talking about vintage in the decades right now. Does anyone else wear vintage fashion? I think vintage is so fun to shop, and thrifting is so fun and all that kind of stuff. It's what I do in pretty much all my spare time, is just vintage shop and vintage search, I guess. But yeah, as I said before, what is your favorite decade in terms of whatever, in terms of music, in terms of style, in terms of interior design? Just let me know. I'm curious as to see, you know, where we all lie across the board. But here I am doing their bedroom now. Isn't this so cute? Isn't this apartment so cute so far? It's just so colorful and fun, and I definitely can see those two characters living here, for sure. I'm putting in some posters. Again, those posters are definitely not historically accurate. Putting a little cat bed for Clover, the little kitty, and then I put her food bowls over here because I remembered that she needed to eat, which I usually forget. I always forget food bowls for the animals in the game, not in real life. My cat is always fed. He's fed a little too much, if you ask me. He's getting a little chubby, but I kind of like it. I like him being chubby. Anyways, setting up a little desk here with a typewriter because obviously they wouldn't have a computer. And this is for probably, let's see, because Lucy is a scientist, so she'd probably do all her work at her workspace at NASA, which is what I decided she worked at. Whereas Kimberly works for like a fashion magazine as like a fashion journalist is what I imagine for her. So the typewriter would probably be for her, just so she can, you know, sit at home and write fashion articles and fashion journals and things like that. Oh man, to be a fashion magazine writer in the 60s, I would slay that. I would just, man, I you know, it's secretly a dream of mine to just like come up with a clothing brand that's just like all 60s and stuff like that, but like it's kind of counteractive to what I love, which is vintage, right? And if I ever created a clothing line like that, it wouldn't actually be vintage, you know? It'd just be like modern clothes but looking vintage, and that's not really the same thing, you know? Like one of my favorite things about buying vintage is like sometimes like you get these clothing items that have like their vintage tags on them, like the Bobby Brooks pants I just bought like have their actual original tags from the 60s still on them. So like the way they were in the store with the actual tag is still on. It's so crazy. I don't know. I'm a really big fan of vintage. It's just so cool to own something that has history and that you can see as a time capsule, and it's just so wonderful. But the most painful part is having to cut off those tags because I actually like wearing the pants. But I always keep the tags. I never throw them away just because they're really cool. But I encourage you guys to look into vintage. It's actually not expensive. Shopping vintage, like in vintage boutiques, is expensive, but if you shop vintage online, like for example, most of where I get my vintage clothing is on eBay, and you can get great freaking deals on eBay. I swear to God, like I've gotten things that should have been like $100 something for like $10 with free shipping. Like eBay is the shit. I'm serious. Check out eBay. Always look at seller ratings just so you don't get scammed, but you know, if you are interested in starting to dress in vintage fashion, I suggest starting there, just because I feel like it's a very inexpensive way to get into it. Yeah. So there's my little spiel about vintage fashion, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about this build and vintage interior design, 60s interior design. I set up the kitchen over here by the little dining area. I could have put the kitchen downstairs, but I really didn't like the idea of them like walking up and downstairs with food. So I just put the kitchen up here, and I kind of like it, you know, like a small little kitchen. I thought it was pretty cute. And I like this area downstairs being like a laundry area. So here I'm setting up the side with the guest bedroom, and then the general laundry area is over here. These laundry, what do they call them? Laundry machines. These laundry machines are so cute. I love the colors. I love all the colors that it comes in, but I chose this pink because it, you know, went with my color scheme, and I thought they were just so cute, just like two little pink laundry machines. It's so, I don't know. I'd love to do laundry if my laundry machines were this cute, is what I'm saying. And then I just set up a little area down here where they can, you know, sit and maybe read a book while they're waiting for the laundry. Though that's not really necessary. They could always do that upstairs, but I just kind of figured, you know, there's space down here. They might as well have a little place where they can just chill. And then setting up just a little place by the door where they can like hang their coat or something. And then I put an ironing board on the wall over there. And then I'm going to set up this guest bedroom. I didn't put a lot of detail into it just because it's a guest bedroom. I didn't think there'd be a lot of things in it. I thought it would pretty much just be the bed and like a dresser and stuff. So I ended up going with this bed and then putting some side tables on the side, some little lamps, and then, oh, is that the same rug I put upstairs? No, I'm pretty sure I changed the rug upstairs. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I changed it. It's fine. And then putting in some blinds on the windows. And yeah, that is the build. I'm really happy with this. I'd love to live here. I love the 60s. Such a wonderful time in terms of style. So interesting. I don't know. But as I said before, let me know what your favorite decade is in terms of whatever. In terms of fashion, in terms of interior design, architecture, music, I don't know, food, anything. Just let me know. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.